in general is like pretty much like the worst person I ever dealt with.
This is a full and bloom interview with producer, KISS Expo promoter, and Shameless bassist Alexx Michael. For more related interview clips, click the links in the description.
Everyone that somehow that they record with Shameless, they died pretty much afterwards. On the first record, Mark St. John, the guy that was in KISS, he was supposed to do I think 2 songs on the record. And at that point, he lived in Garden Grove. He still lived in his parents' garage all of his life. He never moved out there because a friend of mine, David Snowden, he did an interview with him in 85 or so. And at that point, he was living there. And when we did the record, he still lived there. Because I remember every time I called him, his mom would pick up. He was so super excited. Oh, I cannot wait to be on the record, especially because Eric Singer is also on it, and Bruce, this is super exciting, blah, blah, blah. And then of the day of the recording, we were supposed to pick him up because he said, I don't have a car. And I don't even think he had a driver's license. So we go to the place and ring the door, and nobody's opening up or anything. So I was like, okay, what is this? So I called a number, and then somebody picks up the phone, and it sounded like in that movie, The Zodiac Killer, where somebody's like, "Ugh." And I was like, that doesn't sound good. So we're like, okay, forget about that. And then a year or something afterwards, he died.
And his was drug related, right? He was on drugs?
Yeah. I from what I know, he pretty much always had some drug problem. That phone call, was just he couldn't even form a word. It was just
And what year was that?
That was in January of 99.
His time in KISS was so short-lived. I mean, I know he did the record, but did he even complete that tour?
No. He only played 1.5 shows.
Okay, and then Bruce came in?
Yeah, there's one show where they actually played with 2 guitar players, was Mark and Bruce.
Wow.
Because a friend of mine, he took a photo where they say goodnight and you see 5 people on stage. Then I think the next day they just sent him home.
Didn't he have a hand injury or something?
Yeah, so some kind of sickness, but I still to this day think something must have been phony about it, because if it was that kind of a bad illness or something, how was it that just a year afterwards he releases a record where he was totally fine playing all the stuff and whatever? I'm sure he was sick at some point, but then Gene and Paul probably realized, hey, Bruce is a way better match and a much better guitar player that fits what we need, instead of having somebody that would try to be the next Yngwie Malmsteen or something like that. They had that already, that problem with Vinnie Vincent, who's now a woman. Pretty close to that.
Has that been verified?
He definitely looks like a grandmother. He wears the grandmother shoes, pants, and the grandmother vest, and of course his wig. He looks like an old woman. He did an appearance in Nashville where he was also running around in a woman's suit and a handbag. Everybody should do what makes them happy, because remember there was this, what was the name of that band that had the singer or guitar player that turned into a woman?
Mark Free, King Kobra?
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's the band. Well, whatever makes you happy, but Vinnie in general is pretty much the worst person I ever dealt with. The way he was stealing from people and ripping people off and stuff like that. It's beyond anything you can even imagine. And now when you listen to Mark Slaughter, any of those guys, and they just tell the same thing. And I traveled with the guy for 5 weeks until we just left him stranded in a hotel because he would use the main promoter's credit card. And he got a bill together, I think, for something like $1,500 for room service and whatever shit in one day. We just left him there because we were oh, we don't want to have you around anymore. So we just left him there. And I don't even know how he paid his bill.
So, just for a little bit of context, you brought conventions over to Europe, some of the KISS conventions?
Yes.
Okay. And so how does that all go down with you getting Vinnie over there?
He first did a convention in Atlanta, and then he flew straight from there to Sweden, where the tour started. and he got paranoid, like, because during the Q&A, there was already back then, there was the rumor that he wants to get a sex change. Somebody from the audience asked him, so when are you going to have your penis removed?
And this is what year?
This was like spring of 96.
Okay. And were you in Atlanta, or did you just arrange all that? Oh, you were?
I was also in Atlanta with him, and yeah, at that point he was still normal, but like then once he was over in Europe, and at that point he was also with that woman that later became his wife.
Okay, so I don't really know all the story. Carmine said in the interview that he had a wife that was a call girl or something, and then she got murdered. Is it that one?
No, here comes the crazy part. Like, two of his women are dead. His first wife that he had, like, I guess in the late 70s or something, they had twins. And then at one point she got killed.
What the fuck?
And then the second wife, which, I mean, this is actually interesting because, like, I don't want to say anything bad about somebody, but first she used to date Ace. And then when he dumped her, she went straight to Vinnie Vincent. And then he married her. And she was the one that he beat up, and then she died like a year or something afterwards.
He beat up?
Yeah, remember the story when he got arrested and they found like those dead dogs and like some Tupperware?
I do,
boxes.
yeah. I forgot about I didn't realize it was domestic abuse. Somehow I just thought it was about all the dead dogs being buried in the back. And so I had forgotten that detail of it. So it was the initial call and him getting arrested was because he had beat her?
Yeah, he, from what I remember, he beat her up and like he was like throwing her like through glass and stuff like that. And that's how the cops found those dead dogs. That was the woman he was on tour with in 96. And like he was getting so paranoid, all of a sudden he said like, well, I need protection. I need security guards with machine guns and stuff like that.
From
and, like,
fans? Protection from fans?
Yeah, exactly. Because he was like, what happens if some crazy Ace fan wants to kill me? I need security with machine guns, at least like 4 guys. I swear to God, like we had one show in Hamburg, Germany, and there was the venue, and on top of the actual ballroom, there was another venue. And the meet and greets with Vinnie would be in that room. And it was like a massive room that probably holds like 400 people. And he would sit in the furthest corner of that room, and fans would have to walk through that whole fucking thing to get the autograph. And he would be like, well, you need to buy another CD, because at that point he had this 5-song Speedball or whatever the name was EP out that he tried to sell for like $50 for a 6-song EP. And then, of course, barely anyone would buy that. But like if you wanted to have an autograph, he said, well, you have to buy one of my CDs. If you want 2 autographs, you have to buy a second CD. He took the promoter's credit card and faked his name on some invoices and stuff and restaurant bills and whatever. And then like in the end, we just left him in Hamburg and we have no idea how he even got back home.
With these things, and I apologize for my ignorance, but when you're doing a KISS convention, is it like you've guaranteed Vinnie Vincent money and then the autographs are additional to him, or is it just...
Yes.
Okay. How does that work?
We always would pay like for his flight and a flat fee that I think at that point it was something like $1,500 per show, and which was like, you know, was good business for everyone. But like then he would just charge those insane prices for stuff, and then like barely anyone would buy them. And I still remember like his phone calls, because at one point he would call me like 5 times a day. Alex, I have this great idea. How about if we make a limited edition of that CD of 20,000 copies, and then we sell them? And I was like, where do you want to sell 20,000 CDs? You know, I mean, like even in the late mid-90s, there was no chance he would sell like 20,000 copies of a CD. But he was just so delusional about this. Yeah, but I played in Rio for like 140,000 people and here and this and that. And I was like, yeah, but that still doesn't mean you will sell that many records, especially not of a 5-song CD that pretty much God, I don't even know what was on there. But like anyway, like nobody would buy, expensive shit, and especially not 20,000 copies. I guess he was thinking, well, if I sell like 20,000 CDs by, $50, that's like $1 million.
When he gets over there and he's getting 1,500 per show, how many shows is he doing?
Originally he was supposed to do something like 12 or 16 shows, but then I think like after 9 shows, we just kicked him off the tour.
Was that like money guaranteed that he gets up front or half up front or something?
He got half of it up front, and then the rest, obviously, he never got paid.
And I'm assuming even nowadays, he probably even banks even more that,
Wow.
Or does he not?
No, he definitely, think about, people show me the stuff, like he does those weird events in Nashville. And from what I remember, I think people pay something ridiculous, like $500 to go there for an afternoon with him. But there's only like a limited amount of people that can go there, and like the event is always happening in some rehearsal space. So like think about that. Like if he has like 50 people and each one pays $500, that's $25,000 minus his expenses for renting the place, which is per like $200 or something. So he still goes home with like over $23,000, $24,000. Plus then he sells like an autograph for like $80 or $100. And if you have like 50 crazy KISS fans there, each one of them has like 5 items to sign.
The $500 doesn't cover the autographs?
No, that's just like to see him in his...
Just to get to witness him in all his glory is the 500. And then...
Exactly.
And then what, he talks, or does he play guitar, or does he do anything?
I heard from some people, because like there's no video or anything allowed there, and like I heard like some people said like he was playing acoustic guitar there, because remember like he tried to do some shows with Robert Fleischman and Carmine, and then like the whole thing obviously fell apart before it even happened.
Right. I think that's what Carmine was talking about, was that where he got... he took the money and I guess got paid half up front and then didn't do the gig. Yeah,
and he did that like, I think like 2 or 3 times actually.
And so that's why he's doing his own thing now.
Yeah, because like he just talks to people, and maybe if he plays like some acoustic stuff or whatever. And to be honest, I don't even think he's able still to play, because there was an event in Florida. It was like because KISS always has this, the KISS cruise. And the night before, they had this event in a venue in Miami. And he was jamming with some guys from Frehley's Comet. And he only played rhythm guitar. And the way he was playing it, it was like, I swear to God, like it seemed like he had a guitar in his hand the first time. As you know, like Lick It Up, the rhythm section, that as simple as it can get. And he barely made it through that song. It was pretty much like, somebody just got a guitar and somebody showed him, put your finger here and put it there and don't do anything else. And that's how he looked like. So I doubt he would even be able to pull off like a real show where he would have to play guitar solos and whatsoever.
He played no solos at all?
No, nothing. He just played rhythm, and they had some, I don't even remember who the guitar player was, but like they had some other guy from... what is the name of that? I don't remember, but like some guys from Frehley's Comet, and like those guys were pretty much like doing all the playing, and he was just like playing along. And that was already in 96 the case, because like he told us he had some damage to his finger, and that's why he couldn't play any guitar solos. So he would only play rhythm guitar. Pretty much the last time he actually played a guitar solo where people saw him playing it was like in 88 or something, before the Invasion band broke up.
Are there any like funny stories or anything from your time that you spent with him? Any standout moments?
The most stand-up moment was still like when his wig moved. Because we were on a tour bus, and at one point he fell asleep while sitting in his chair, and like his wig started to move, and it was just like so. And then he woke up, and then like his wife looked at him and was like, "Vinny," and of course she couldn't say, because there was like another like 15 people on the bus. "Vinny, you gotta check your wig." She whispered it into his ear, and he ran down to the toilet to fix his wig. And then afterwards, he was like, I can't drive in that bus. Like, I need my own driver and, like, a separate car and everything. So I guess he was scared, like, what happens if I fall asleep again and my wig falls off?
The wig, like, turned sideways or something while he was sleeping?
Yeah. It was, like, almost like I forgot, there was a movie where that happened to somebody, you know, where the wig, you can tell, like, it's a wig because, like, it's all of a sudden, like, it's in a different position.
Was there a final moment where it was like, that's it, and now we're leaving? Was there something that happened, or was it just...
Yeah, we did 2 shows in Hamburg, and then afterwards he went back to the hotel, and none of the hotels were good enough for him. Like, he wanted to get to the whatever fancy hotel was. And what we didn't know at that point was, like, that he would get this insane room service bill together for, like, whatever kind of foods. I mean, you have to think about, like, it was like in dollars at that point, it was about like $1,000 in room service.
For one night?
Yes.
What the hell?
It was like all kinds of food, and then, like, he asked the hotel to ship some stuff for him, and then a couple of phone calls, and yeah, it was over $1,000 US dollars.
That's in addition to, I mean, he gets his flight and then his half upfront fee, but then you're paying for all the hotels and everything and all his meals?
Well, for regular meals, yeah, but
like he gets a per diem per day or something?
Exactly, but like we said, well, nobody's paying your bill. That goes out of your pocket. And he was like, well, if you don't pay the bill, I'm not coming to the next shows. And we were like, okay, goodbye. And then we just left him there.
That was the moment where you left him?
Yeah. We just put a sign on the door, like, you know, like, this convention is without a special guest. We didn't have a single person that said, like, oh, Vinny is not coming, so I'm not going. Yeah, and then we just left him there.